After it became known to the Emperor and Darth Vader that a number of Jedi were able to survive Order 66 and hide themselves within the galaxy, they tasked the Grand Inquisitor, the leader of the Jedi hunting organization known as the Inquisitorius, with finding and eliminating any Jedi survivors. However, before he began his service to the Empire, particularly its Sith leadership, the Grand Inquisitor had been a Jedi Knight and member of the Jedi Temple Guard prior to Order 66. So then how did this former Jedi Knight and Temple Guard fall to the dark side of the Force, wherein he was engaged primarily with locating and killing his former colleagues within the Jedi Order? In this video expose, I will describe how the Grand Inquisitor fell to the dark side and explain how the Clone Wars, particularly the Jedi Order's leadership in the war, sowed the seeds of disillusionment within the Jedi Knight who would go on to lead the Emperor's Inquisitorius. The Grand Inquisitor was a Pauan male who was born on the planet of Utapau, roughly 15 years before the invasion of Naboo as depicted in The Phantom Menace. He ultimately entered and became a member of the Jedi Order in or about this period, eventually rising through its ranks to become a Jedi Knight and serving within the Order's Jedi Temple Guard, wherein he was tasked with defending the Jedi Temple located on Coruscant. However, similar to the experience of a number of other Jedi, the Clone Wars created the circumstances that would cause the one-time Jedi Knight and Temple Guard to become disillusioned with the Order, and pushed him to his ultimate fate of becoming the Grand Inquisitor. The catalyst for the future Grand Inquisitor's fall to the dark side was the bombing of the Jedi Temple perpetrated by Padawan Barriss Offee, which occurred at a time when numerous individuals within the Republic were starting to protest the Jedi Order's leadership over the Republic's war efforts against the Confederacy of Independent Systems. As a member of the Jedi Temple Guard, the future Grand Inquisitor was heavily involved in the events that followed the deadly bombing, including the arrest of Padawan Ahsoka Tano for treason when she was framed by Barriss. Further, he was one of the Temple Guards who escorted Barriss into the courtroom involving Ahsoka's trial when her master, Anakin Skywalker, was able to uncover that Barriss was behind the bombing and had her arrested. Barriss's arrest and her subsequent confession of guilt before Supreme Chancellor Palpatine and other high-ranking members of the Republic and Jedi Order, such as Tarkin and Yoda, were crucial events that would initiate the Grand Inquisitor's eventual fall to the dark side. During Barriss's emotional and passionate confession, wherein she admitted to the bombing, she strongly stated that her motivation for doing so was that she had come to realize, like many Republic citizens, that the Jedi were responsible for the Clone Wars, and that they lost their way to become the true villains behind the horrors that had been brought to the galaxy. Further, Barriss stated that her attack on the Temple represented an attack on an army fighting for the dark side, as that's what the Jedi had become through the war. Due to the Order's move away from the light, their traditional place in history, she noted that it was only a matter of time that the Republic failed. Although Ahsoka was exonerated, Barriss's confession recognizing and outlining the corruption of the Jedi Order, and just how much the war had worked to push them into the role of villains in the conflict, planted a seed of disillusionment in the mind of the future Grand Inquisitor. Following these events surrounding the bombing of the Temple, he felt disaffected with the role of the Jedi and completely lost faith in his commitment to the Order. Therefore, the Grand Inquisitor's descent and fall to the dark side had its origins in the words of Barriss, which he had been present to hear for himself. Eventually, as these thoughts and the words of Barriss's confession continued to take hold of him, he began to feel the pull towards the dark side of the Force. Ultimately, having been made susceptible to the temptation of the dark side through his growing disillusionment with the Jedi Order, the Grand Inquisitor fell to the dark side. When the Clone Wars ended, and Palpatine declared himself to be the Emperor of the new Galactic Empire, the former Jedi Knight and Temple Guard pledged himself to the service of the Empire and the Sith. Although he was not made a Sith himself, he was made the leader of the Emperor's Inquisitorius, and as the Grand Inquisitor, was trained in the dark side of the Force by Darth Vader, although only in a limited fashion, and was tasked with hunting down and killing any and all Jedi who survived Order 66. So there we have it, how the Grand Inquisitor, the former Jedi Knight and member of the Temple Guard within the Jedi Order, fell to the dark side. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for guess what tomorrow's video will be?